Hey, we're in part 2 of that other dream with the bomb explosion. I went and I told this one girl that was around me that your little sister died. Like, her whole body flew all over the show. She was disembodied by that explosion. And she acted like, nah, nothing happened. Like it wasn't Jack, you know? And this time around, instead of calming down, I was in angst. I couldn't understand why. This is a dream, remember, you guys. I couldn't understand why emotion and like the right level of response to dire circumstances in this dream, in this environment. Like, first of all, I get a premonition and they ignored it about the bomb sort of kind of going off. The bomb does go off, but it's a spark, and then they're like, see, it's nothing, and then I accept it. And then next thing, it goes off, and they're like, whatever, it's still cool, even though fitting near the car, right? And then they think that it's not gonna come to them, and only at the stage when the flames, or the fire, or the mushroom cloud, or the nuclear, basically, flames were coming towards where we were at, only then did they feel the need to go down and take cover themselves and shelter. And even and that for me was, and then after, like, everything has subsided, we didn't die, we survived because we were in this room, even though our legs got scorched by the excessive heat of the explosion. After Rutsoga, when then I was like, oh my goodness, some people died that were outside, that were very close to the flames. When the car exploded, when I told people, basically the bearer of bad news, letting them know that your loved one has passed away, their reaction for me also was like, no, so like, what in the world? You should be sad, you should be bereft, you should be grieved that your sister died. And it was only at the stage in the dream when it started to just kind of catch up with me. You know, I had a conscience. I was like, why isn't anybody in this ecosystem mindful or careful of really dire situations? Like, they just carried on as normal. And then at the stage, remember I told you, the explosive in the vehicle was not just any regular detonant. It was a nuclear explosive, meaning after it goes off, now there is the problem of radiation. So if you don't get killed by the fire, by the bomb, you're then gonna get like radioactive stuff that's gonna make you like mutate your body cells, and you're gonna basically burn from the inside out. Forget about living. Do you understand what I'm saying? Here it is that I can see burns, like boils, basically starting to appear on my body from the radiation. And then they came into the room, this, as you guys, oh goodness, it was, I remember everybody in this dream, was like a child. Kodwa, they were my peers. This person that came in, it was a man, but he looked like a 21-year-old guy or a 23-year-old guy. But I understood him to be my dad, like ubaba wam, you know, the man that contributed his, like, you know, chromosomes to my particular cause, that I might be a human being. Yes. He comes in and he's my dad, right? I recognize him as my dad. And no, he's not like the dad that like my biological father. He's like my dad. And this father of mine, do you understand? I go to him and I'm like, Dad, like, an explosion just went off and I'm worried about radiation. I'm worried that it's going to eat me inside. I'm worried that I'm going to get radiation burns. I'm worried that I'm not going to survive this radiation because that explosion just went off. And as I'm busy telling my dad, you know, Dad, this, he's just ignoring. He's like acknowledging that I'm talking to him on some hi daughter, what's up? But then when I tell him about the radiation, the bomb that's gone off, and that I might actually die because hello, radiation poisoning, he's just like, again, like everybody else, was very cavalier. He did not care that everybody in that room, including his daughter, had a problem with radiation now that an explosion had gone off. And it left me very sad in the dream. Sad that no one is appropriately responding to the dire circumstance. I was bereaved by the death of everyone that died from that bomb. And also I was saddened by the fact that I was the only one mourning their deaths. And I was also saddened by the fact that my father, my dad, in the dream did not care that I might just die from poisoning from radiation. And then the dream ended. That entire dream, when I woke up from it, you know, the Dorotena, they also inject into you actual real sorrow and melancholy. You will feel abandoned. That dream was demonic. But I don't write off demonic dreams because they tell me the strategy of Satan. So I gauge what the devil is trying to do, not only against me, but against everybody else. Wonke muntu in that dream was my peer. I'm 38, guys. Everybody in that dream was my peer. God, but they look like children. Now me, I had the body of a teenager. In that dream, Mingati, I was a child. I could see when I was looking down at myself that I was like a child. But I was as old as I am today, in my mind anyway. It was inside a classroom. Now, remember that vehicle outside that exploded? It was a sparkling white car that was parked. I neglected to mention that it was sitting there, and I had a thorough understanding that it was just sitting there. Almost like iMovie, even though it could move. And it was the only bright thing in this very dark, ominous environment. That vehicle represented Christian ministry. It represented the incredible amount of sorcery that is blocking. Like, I am presently, guys, Yazi, if you were to go to my YouTube channel, I've been imploring you guys on TikTok to go to see a YouTube channel. Yam. It's literally a sight for sore eyes. It's a tourist destination. It's like watching that lava. Not lava. It was a lava. Yeah, flowing. Kola Palma in Spain. There when there was like a whole spectacle back when it had erupted. Guys, it is this marvel to look at because of the travesty of it. I grew reasonably, well initially, and then one day it just suddenly stopped, and they like literally I don't get a single view. I upload content, ones and zeros, binary code. Nobody looks at my stuff. Nobody likes. Ingati, I've been shadow banned. It's like there is this dark witchcraft that is blocking me from going anywhere. But I keep uploading. I haven't stopped uploading because I understand thoroughly that Lomseben's Nona one day is going to get taken up. I just am not sure whether or not I'm still going to be here when it does eventually get taken up. You know how the albums that the celebrity that pass away sometimes sell like hotcakes because they died. I'm thinking maybe people will take it up after the rapture has happened, right? That car represented such ministries, Christians who are struggling to get the word out, and that keep on getting bewitched all over the show. And they keep on sending sorcery to their ministries until their cars explode. And the Lord showed me that finally that sparkling, beautiful white car that was outside, that was there, was supposed to basically deliver the good news. It finally exploded, meaning they finally prospered to silence Christian ministry. And it is at that stage when they finally prosper to silence Christian ministry, when everybody around that environment is going to start to die. And they are going to think it's a small thing because they're at a distance from that ministry. But the explosion or the detonation of that ministry is going to expand so far out that it will be nuclear in nature, such that nobody is going to be safe. And even those that survive afterwards, they are going to capitulate to radiation poisoning. And the person that led them in this darkness will not care that people have died and will not care that they're suffering from radiation poisoning. The dad in my dream was not my father in heaven who cares for every last one of my needs. But in that dream, because it was me that was represented by whoever was in that body, I woke up literally realizing that Satan wants me to second guess the father's love for me. But that man, because it was a demonic dream, I automatically then reinterpreted it to mean that is the father of lies. That is the father of the lost, of the reprobate. And who I was in the dream was a lukewarm Christian because I wanted what was right. But as soon as the world influenced me, I just defaulted back again to darkness or to accepting the status quo until it became uncomfortable for me. And the dream ended with me very sad. That was like the devil. Satan is the one that doesn't care the ramifications of you afflicting a gospel servant. The devil is the one that does not care what happens to your soul when you die. And the devil and his servants are the ones that don't care to sacrifice sisters, brothers. And that's why that chick in my dream, when I told her sister had passed away, she could not care less. The Lord was showing me occult activity and what they're doing to Christians. And he's showing me that on the day they finally prosper to smother Christian ministry, that's the day when everybody starts to die, tipping like dominoes. That was my next dream. We're going home. Let's move on to the next one.